there was probably more than one moment. There was one moment in particular you shared with me about, maybe this is it. I've gotten as far as I've gotten. We're not going to make it. We tried and everything. And it was like, I can quit, but not today. It was something like that. Help me find that. Cause I'll just share why I want to hear that personally. And I think our audience would appreciate it because again, it's a hard comparison, direct anecdote to draw, but I just came back from a client event, 11,000 people, 27 hotels, right? And there were some moments where, whether it was some breakdowns with security, some people at an event got a little bit out of control, private event even, we had some celebrities that had to be, administered and managed through the space. Just a lot of moments where, you could be like, I'm out of here. Is the juice really worth the squeeze? And everybody gave their word. The team was so unified. They were so focused that there was permission to have within the storms, because there were a few storms at this event, Tez, to have a little bit of a descarga, right? A little bit of an unloading, if you will, of some of the toxicity, and then get refocused. And it feels to me, I identified with that because that happens in my day-to-day. I'm not rowing across the ocean, but there's some things that come across the screen, the phone, my life, that I'm like, boy, where's the back door? I want out, and just having the freedom to contemplate it or just toy with it kind of loosens me up a little bit and gets me back in focus. So I'll stop talking, and I want to hear that anecdote.
No, you're spot on, Seth. Look, I'm not encouraging anyone to row across an ocean, but I share the story because it's a great metaphor. We all have waves washing overboard in life. We all have storms that come our way, and it's just a question of how do we respond to them. Very little in our world is really within our control. We hear that all the time, but when you're out at sea alone, it becomes very clear. For me, there were multiple points, Seth, where I desperately wanted to quit, where I thought this was the worst idea I've ever had. There were points where equipment broke, and I thought, there's no way I can fix this. I don't have the parts. There were points where I felt I broke, and I didn't have what I needed to put myself back together. But the interesting thing about rowing across an ocean is there's no elegant way out. Yes, I could coordinate a rescue or an extraction, but it's such an inconvenient and costly process.
Yeah.
That you have every reason to rethink that. And so what helped me get through some of these hardest moments where I desperately wanted to be anywhere else was giving myself permission to quit. It's like a sweet little white lie. On the one hand, giving myself permission to quit would acknowledge the part of myself that needed to be acknowledged and affirmed, and saying, yeah, what you're doing is really hard. It's normal that you want to quit. Not shaming that part of myself, but making it feel heard. And then another part of myself, maybe a higher self, can say, if you can have an open mind, maybe it can get easier. Maybe you can get better.
Yeah.
Maybe tomorrow will be a better day. And that line was really valuable for me, and I would actually repeat it out loud. I can quit, but not today. And it helped me look out at the ocean and see a way through the treacherous seas and see a little bit more possibility.
I take it there were a lot of other things you said out loud that weren't so PG in manner.
There were indeed.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. For sure, right? That's a laugh of recognition.